The past and the future collide in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. I'm Professor Walnut, this is my lab, and today we're going to be looking at the trailer that dropped for the new Pokemon games coming in November. Just last week we got an exciting new glimpse into the Pokemon world's Spain-based region, and so much about it seems designed around motifs contrasting the past and the future. First of all, we've got two professors this time, a different one per game. One is named Sada, a woman in almost cave person-inspired clothing under her lab coat. The other is named Turo, a man with futuristic, somewhat Tron-like clothing under his lab coat. Along with their designs, their names stand out as shortenings of the Spanish words pasada, for past, and futuro, for future. We'll get to the other parts of the reveal trailer soon, but I want to linger a bit on the theming here and talk about the Legendaries introduced in the trailer. First, we have Koraidon, a feathered dragon with a wheel for its chest whose design somewhat evokes both ancient times and a motorcycle at the same time. Next, we have Miraidon, a blue dragon with electricity in its design and jets for its bottom half, evoking a very futuristic and energy-powered feeling, like a bit of a hover jet cycle. The themes of past and future are obviously extremely evident in their designs alone, but the names double down on that. Korai is Japanese for ancient, while Mirai is Japanese for future. Dawn, at the end of both of their names, is really just the same kind of ending they use for Charizard in Japanese, Lizardon. It's meant to be a shortening of dragon, or perhaps it's being used like it's used in a lot of dinosaur names, such as Iguanodon or Dimetrodon. Either way, they're clearly dragons, and their names translate almost literally to Ancient Dragon and Future Dragon. This generation of Pokemon seems very much to want to pit the past and the future against each other and see who wins out. Likely, the winner will end up being whichever side you're on, depending on the version you play, if I had to guess. The last time I was this excited for the story of a Pokemon game was Black and White, and it's especially interesting this time around to see how it's different in each version. Speaking of, we got glimpses of two crests, or emblems, one with what appeared to be an orange, and the other that appeared to be grapes. And I've seen ideas being passed around suggesting these belong to two different schools, one of which is possibly headed by Sada, and the other is possibly headed by Turo. Much like in Ruby and Sapphire, the antagonist of the story may be the opposing school, whichever team you don't join up with. Stepping away from the themes a bit, let's talk about the new Pokemon we saw. I'm a competitive player, so I intend to look at this, at least in part, in a competitive light. First up, they went over the starters again, and they are looking gorgeous as always. I'm still completely set on going to play Koko. As with all starters, they have Overgrow, Blaze, and Torrent for Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley respectively. This is pretty standard, and we'll probably need to wait to see their hidden abilities before we know what kind of utility they'll really have. This is stuff we already knew about from the previous trailer, but I didn't do the video the first time around, so I wanted to weigh in on them here first. Now, more excitingly, they showed us what looked like a Pikachu clone, named Palmy. It's pure electric with the ability Static and Natural Cure. Whether or not it evolves is still up in the air, but Pokemon has been liking to keep their Pikachu clones at a single stage, so I expect that. Now, historically, Static has been a really good ability in competitive Pokemon, as Paralysis can really swing games, but ultimately it'll depend on the Pokemon's stats and move pool, as Static alone doesn't usually let a Pokemon dominate. Natural Cure has some niche uses, but it probably won't see as much play as Static. Of course, there's always the possibility of a hidden ability for every one of these Pokemon, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they are. Next up, they showed off the internet's new favorite Pokemon, Lechonk. Lechonk is an adorable little pig Pokemon, a pure normal type, pretty clearly a Pokemon found early in the game. It's got the abilities Gluttony and Aroma Veil. Now, Aroma Veil is interesting because it's historically been a fairy Pokemon only ability, which has some people speculating that it may evolve to be a normal fairy type. I'm personally not so sure. The data on this Pokemon says it's very fragrant, and I don't think there's necessarily a reason to think they'd never give this ability to a non-fairy Pokemon. Either way, I'd love to see this thing evolve into a slow, bulky Trick Room Mon, something like a Snorlax. Finally, they gave us Smoliv, the small olive that is both small and an olive. It's a grass normal Pokemon, making it a grass type that's weak to fighting and immune to ghosts, and it has the ability Early Bird. It's an interesting choice to me, since as a grass type, it's going to be immune to the game's most common sleep move in Spore, so I can't really see it being a very useful ability. I'm hoping it gets a really interesting hidden ability, and I'm excited to see what it evolves into. Now, let's quickly go over some of the other interesting things in the trailer and a little bit outside of it. Firstly, the Pokemon website has confirmed that this is going to be a fully open world game where you can explore anywhere you want without limitations based on story. I am amazed and fascinated by this direction, and the immediate thing it has me thinking about is limitations. For example, will we be stopped from catching over-level Pokemon again, like we were in Sword and Shield? Will it be badge-based again? Or will everything just scale? Obviously there's no indication yet, but I am so hyped for more info. Next, and this one is amazingly even bigger. It looks like you can connect with up to 3 other people and freely explore the world together. No more of the just wandering around and seeing random people in wild areas, you know, like they are there, but they're not really there. You can just talk to them and get items in the wild area. No, you and your 3 friends will be concretely in the world together. What that means exactly and how you'll be able to interact with the world and with each other remains to be seen, but I have hopes that you'll be able to enter wild battles together, or even see your friend is battling and just throw a Pokemon out near the battle and join in freely. Likewise, it would be nice to see something like raids you can do together, except you get to walk to them all together instead of trying to connect via codes or whatever. I also really hope that we get to connect with each other online, and that they have a strong system for connecting together. Of course, this is all speculation, but I'm really hoping I'm right about some of this because it'd be so fun. Heck, I'm thinking about buying 2 games this generation so that my girlfriend's kiddo and I can have some fun playing together. Finally, and this wasn't directly touched upon in the trailer, but it's more something I noticed, it looks a lot like when you encounter wild Pokemon or do battle with trainers. It does the thing we saw in Pokemon Legends Arceus and makes the battle take place on the world rather than in a little pocket dimension like in past games. If you watch the segment where the trainer is sneaking up on a Smoliv, you see the Smoliv turn around and presumably the battle starting, all while seeing other Smolivs still in the background. It would only make sense, honestly. I feel like since we got it that way in Arceus, we shouldn't go back to the old ways. I'm also wondering if you can start multi-battles like in Arceus just by having other Pokemon around, and if you can encounter and battle whole huge groups of Pokemon with the people you are playing with. How cool would that be? Admittedly, it might be a pretty unlikely dream. We'll see. So I think that's about everything. They showed a wide variety of locations and brief shots, and they all look nice. I don't have a ton to say on that. You would hope for variety in an open world game. The last shot was a Pokeball flying through some sort of crystalline background, and I'm not really sure what to make of that either. People are saying it might be connected to the gimmick for this generation, and I do think that's likely, but I don't have a lot of speculation there personally, aside from I'm pretty sure there will be a gimmick of some kind to replace Dynamax. What do you think of it? Hopefully we'll get some information on that soon. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I want to know, what did you think of the trailer? Let me know in the comments, and do the other YouTube stuff, it really helps out my channel. Do you like when I make content like this, outside of battling? Let me know as well. I'm down for doing more of this if you're interested in it. See y'all next time. Peace.